Hi everyone, welcome back. For those who are new here, my name is Adriana. I like everything DIY, thrifting, sewing, gardening, just to name a few. I was hoping to get this video out for Christmas in July, but is it me or did July just fly by? Well, let me show you how I make my Christmas craft show top sellers. To start, you're going to need a base for your tree. I'm going to use these wooden furniture legs. I had thrifted them at the Goodwill for $1.98 each. You can use anything that will hold up the tree. Now, these wooden legs were too glossy and I really didn't like the stain color. So after I removed the price tag, I used an 80 grit sandpaper to remove that gloss. And then I smoothed it out by using a 220 grit. After that, I wiped them down and removed all the dust. I want the base of the tree darker, so I'm going to stain them with Waverly Antiquing Wax. I buy it at Walmart. I just brush it on and then I take a piece of an old white t-shirt and remove any of the excess wax. If you don't have antiquing wax, you can always use watered down brown paint. For the first tree, I'm going to use this plaid fabric. It's a popular seller for me. To make the Christmas tree shape, you just need to cut out a triangle to the size of the tree you want. As a guide, I'm going to use this felt Christmas tree. I bought these a few years ago at the Dollar Tree. It comes in a pack of 2. I also saw them last year, so hopefully they will have them again. Now I placed the right sides of the fabric together. Then I took my ruler to draw a straight line because I'm not sure if you could see it, but the trees do have indents in them. So I'm using the ruler. If you feel comfortable, you could skip that part and just cut alongside with the scissors. Now that I have the tree all cut out, I'm going to turn the wrong side of the fabric facing each other. I'm going to place this tree aside and cut out another one. This fabric is actually a dish towel. I just love the stripes and the color. Now this time I'm just placing my felt tree on the fabric and cutting around the edge, just leaving a little extra on the sides. Again, you can do it either way, whatever is easiest for you. Now that my trees are all cut out, I'm going to start gluing and stuffing them. I'm using hot glue. You can also use fabric glue. If you don't want to use any glue and you like sewing, just sew a straight stitch. I start from the top of the tree. I'm using a high temp glue gun, so I have finger protectors. I purchased these at the Dollar Tree, but to be honest with you, I don't always use them. I just glue alongside the edge of the tree. Now, I do leave a little bit extra because at the end I like to take sandpaper to give it more of a rustic look. So you're just going to place the glue alongside and just make sure you press both of the pieces of fabric together. Now here I'm going to start stuffing the top of the tree. So I like to come down a few inches and stuff it, and I repeat the process. I'll just glue both sides again and then stuff. Oh, I almost forgot to mention, if you're going to use the hot glue gun, just give it a second or two for the glue to cool down before you actually start stuffing the tree. Now, if you're using fabric glue, that might take a little bit longer to dry. And if you're sewing, you could go right ahead and stuff the tree. Now, using the glue, you just want to be careful when you're stuffing it that you don't actually punch through or poke right through the seam. Now I'm just going to let you watch what I'm doing until I attach the tree to the base. After I stuffed the tree to the fullness I wanted, I'm going to start gluing the bottom. Just make sure you leave a little opening, about an inch, just in the middle so we can add the stem. Now I'm going to attach the tree to the base. I'm going to use the wooden tool that comes with the polyfill. I recycle them. Now my base already has a hole in it. If you don't, you're going to have to drill one. So I take the wooden tool, I place it inside the opening that we left, and I put a lot of hot glue, and then I seal the bottom, and then I take glue to the base and glue it in. I stuffed the plaid tree off camera, but I am going to show you again how I take the polyfill wooden tool. If you don't have one, again, you can take a piece of stick from a tree that you can find outside. And I use a lot of hot glue. Make sure you glue it to the actual stick. And then you take it and you glue it again into the base that you're using. After I glued the tree to the base, I realized that the stem of the tree or the tree trunk was a lighter color wood. So I go ahead and take the antiquing wax and I just take a small brush and go over both of the tree trunks to get it the same color as the base. Now this is really the fun part. This is what makes each tree unique and different. Not one of my trees that I sell are exactly the same. I decorate them all differently. For this tree, I'm going to use the wooden beads I purchased in Italy. I paid only €1 for a pack. They're really cute. They're a little bit different. They are square instead of the usual round beads, and they do have letters on them. So I just took a few beads and spelled out the word Merry on one strand, and then on the second strand of jute twine, I spelled out the word Christmas. I placed the Merry below the top of the tree by gluing the knot of the strand to one side and then to the other. Now I took the word Christmas and placed it below where I liked it, and then again glued it from one side to the other. And for the base, I'm going to decorate with moss. I usually use Spanish moss, but I was out of it. Again, this is when you use what you have. Like, I'm sure if you're a crafter, you do have a lot of stash like me. If you don't, that's okay. You could pick up a lot of items at the Dollar Tree, or if you like thrifting, you could actually thrift them and recycle them. Once I finish gluing the moss to the base, I'm going to start gluing some greenery. Now, I go all around the base with the greenery. Love my rusty jingle bells. I purchased these at Joann Fabrics for 90% off. What a great buy. I'm just going to use my wire cutter to remove some of the jingle bells, and then I'm just going to glue them all around the base, filling it in even more. Now I'm going to use some berries. I buy these at the dollar store. They come in all different colors. So I take a pencil and just wrap it around and use my wire cutters to clip it. And I just kind of form like a spring. And again, I'm just going to glue it in and fill up the base. I wanted to give my tree a more of a rustic look, so I took a 220 grit sandpaper and lightly went around the edge of the tree. If you don't want to do that, just skip this. I'm going to start decorating the plaid tree. I'm going to use these tree toppers. They came in a pack of 3. I believe I purchased them at Hobby Lobby. It was definitely after Christmas, so I did receive a discount on them. They did have a spring, so I did have to remove the spring. And then I just glued it to the top of the tree with some hot glue and fabric glue. While that dried, I did want to cut out a piece of the red and white fabric to make a bow. So you just cut a long strip of it, and I just tied a finger bow, and I am going to glue it to the base of the red and white tree for a pop of color. Now that the star is dried, I'm going to start decorating the base of the plaid tree. I'm using a ribbon that says Merry Christmas. I purchased that at Hobby Lobby, and you guessed it, black jingle bells. I'm not making a bow with the ribbon. I'm going to take this other ribbon I purchased at Hobby Lobby. It has little beads in it. I'm going to wrap it in the middle of that ribbon that says Merry Christmas. I'm also going to take white berries that I purchased at the Dollar Tree, and I'm going to wrap it around the pencil to make those spring again, and I'm going to wrap it right in the middle. I'm going to take some moss and again glue it to the base, adding greenery, and then I'm going to take the ribbon and glue it down. Now, before I show you the trees, we're going to make a handmade tag. I'm using scrapbook paper I purchased at Michael's. I'm also going to use a stamp I had thrifted while visiting my brother and sister-in-law in Florida. Now, I stamp it on Stays On ink in black, and then I'm just going to take my scissors and cut around it into a square. I'm also going to use my hole puncher to add a hole, and I do have red twine, which I think will add an extra touch. Now we're going to make a tag for the other tree. Now in this booklet that I had purchased at Michael's, There's pre-made tags in there already, as well as some scrapbooking paper. So I'm going to use a pre-made tag. I'm just going to cut it down a little. I'm using the same stamp and the same color ink, which is the black stays on ink. And I'm going to cut it out, like I said, and then I'm going to take my hole puncher and add the red twine. Well, guys, thank you for stopping by. I hope I gave you a few ideas on how to make these inexpensive fabric trees. Don't forget, you can gather a few supplies from the outside, like sticks, pine cones, even acorns. You can also use seashells. The possibilities are endless. If you're not selling them, they do make great gifts. I especially like adding handmade tags. I think it adds an extra touch and it gives you a cute way to display your price along with made by. I am sure I will be asked how I price my trees. For me, it all depends on the time I spend. I don't actually follow the formula that's out there, but you can look it up. Plus, I always purchase supplies at a discount, so for these trees, I will probably price them at $22 to $25. Again, thank you for watching. If you haven't already, please hit the like button. Until next time, my friends, ciao.